So about a week ago, I'm just minding my business, cleaning up my desk, as I do every couple days. It always looks like this. When I found my reed water, and I'm about to throw it out, when I see at the very bottom, completely flat, completely sunk, is this reed. So I think back to when I last had a lesson or was practicing in this space, and I realized
this reed has been soaking in the water for 6 days.
6 days.
So I put it on the drying rack for about a week, took a look at it real good. It looked pretty normal, it looked a little funny. I looked at it under my microscope, compared it to another reed. Didn't really see anything different. So I let it dry out for a week, and now I'm gonna see if it plays. Not bad. So, it's okay. The low register really feels pretty weak, though. Like, I'm just not getting a good... Anyways, maybe it just needs a little adjusting. Maybe we just need a little, little file. Little file action. Mandrel. Plaque. Who made this piece of shit? So what I'm curious about is it just that this thing is kind of warped? Is the cane forever destroyed? Honestly, I don't know if it was a great reed to begin with. I mean, maybe I left it in the water for a reason. The center of the tip is just looking kind of thick to me, and then the back is also kind of the rails in the back almost look like, I don't know. I'm sure reeds that haven't been soaking in the water for 6 days look like this sometimes as they age. Maybe I'm just sort of paying attention to all the weird quirks of this reed. Oh, that's better. That's a better crow. Let's see if we have a nice bouncy bottom. Much better. The next test for this reed will be, can it last for more than 5 minutes before it dies? What do you think? Can you last 5 minutes? At this very moment, this might be the best reed I have right now. It is kind of dying. these low C's are really overblowing a lot easier than they were, like, 2 minutes ago. Of course, sometimes when a reed dries, the tip sort of somewhat artificially opens up, and then you might feel like, oh, I've got to close that tip, and then after a very short period of time, you open it up. Now, I actually haven't adjusted the wires since I found it floating in the bottom of my reed cup, but we should do that. It does basically feel like it got a little softer. I don't know how this reed was before. This may have been a reed I was getting ready to retire. I didn't have a lot of didn't have anything fresh, but it makes me wonder if I cut the tip off this reed a little bit, if I might get just a little bit of vibrancy back. I'm just 28 millimeters from the top wire, so I'm gonna just make that 28 millimeters from the bottom wire. Instead. It still feels weak. I don't know if the weakness is from the 6-day soak or not. I actually would suspect that perhaps not all of it is. The truth is, reeds are a structure like a tower or a bridge. And as we play them, they take on damage and wear and tear. And so if you took a sledgehammer to the Golden Gate Bridge and, took a little chip off of one of the beams, is the bridge going to collapse? No. It's still going to function as a bridge. Over time, as more and more things like that happen, that bridge is going to become less stable and eventually might collapse entirely. Reeds are the same way. So, I think this reed having soaked in the water for 6 days, it probably damaged it or sort of put wear on it. It didn't ruin the reed, but it didn't, obviously didn't do the reed any favors. And whatever flaws the reed might have already had, it probably, it just added to those flaws. I have no real proof of this, but I suspect the best thing to do if you forget your reed in the reed water, put it on a drying rack, or just leave it out if you don't have a drying rack for several days. Give it some sandpaper, give it some love, and you'll still have a reed. And that's that. Happy practicing. Can you last 5 minutes? Several days. If we have a nice bouncy bottom,